Temple Grandin could be described as someone with special needs. She tends to react strongly to anything new because she sees the world in a completely different way. That year, during the summer before starting college, Temple goes to visit her aunt, Anne. The moment she arrives, it becomes clear that Temple is fascinated by anything related to mechanics and physics. Just by watching how something works, she can instantly understand the entire mechanism behind it. But communicating with her is not easy. Anne has to make everything very clear and structured so Temple can process it. The next day, Temple walks around Anne's cattle farm. The way the workers handle the cows triggers her past trauma. She starts asking about every tool she sees, making sure the animals are okay. It turns out beyond her love for machines, Temple also has a deep connection with animals. She can tell if a cow is calm or stressed just by observing its behavior. She even explains that a horse does not need to move its head to see around. Its ears already show where its attention is focused. Even though things can be overwhelming, Anne clearly cares deeply for her niece. Temple admits that she has no interest in going to college. In her mind, everything she needs to learn has already been explained by her favorite teacher back in school. She also feels that people her age think in ways that are strange and difficult for her to understand. The following day, a house assistant accidentally knocks down some papers attached to Temple's door while cleaning her room. When Temple returns and sees this, she becomes overwhelmed again. It feels like her space has been disturbed. Then, as she steps inside, she is startled by a white curtain that has not been properly installed. Fear takes over and she immediately runs out of the room. What worries Anne even more is what happens next. Temple walks into a cattle squeeze chute and asks Anne to close it around her. Feeling sorry for her, Anne agrees, and almost instantly Temple calms down.
Harder! More!
And this the story of Temple Grandin. A few days later, Temple's mother arrives. She is surprised to find that the wooden gate at Anne's house has been turned into an automatic system designed by Temple. They talk briefly about Temple's activities, but her mother does not seem impressed. She believes Temple's attachment to animals might only reinforce her unusual behavior. Anne does not agree, but she cannot argue much. Soon after, Temple is enrolled at Franklin Pierce College. When she arrives at her dorm room, she becomes upset again. She complains that everyone else has a roommate while hers will not arrive for another 2 weeks. As her mother prepares to leave, she is reminded of Temple's childhood. Temple was born like any other child, but she did not speak until the age of 4. She showed no interest in playing with other children. Doctors diagnosed her with autism, suggesting it might be caused by a lack of emotional connection from her mother during early development. Her mother strongly rejected this idea. As a highly educated woman, she believed she knew how to raise her child. But no matter what she tried, Temple never seemed interested in the things she offered, and that struggle has continued ever since. On her first day of class, Temple Grandin is asked by her professor to read a page from a book. But after only a few seconds of looking at it, she calmly says she has already finished. The professor, thinking she is not taking it seriously, asks her to repeat the page without looking. To everyone's surprise, Temple begins reciting the entire page perfectly. She remembers every single word after seeing it just once.
Jean-Paul Sartre né le 21 juin 1905 à Paris.
You learned it?
I just looked at it.
After class, Temple heads to the cafeteria. But when she sees a cook chopping carrots, her trauma is triggered again. It gets worse when she approaches the dining area with automatic glass doors. In her mind, the image of the knife blends with the motion of a machine, creating a terrifying illusion. Overwhelmed, she panics, and her reaction ends up drawing laughter from others around her. The next day, Temple realizes she needs something to help calm herself, just like the cattle squeeze chute she used at her aunt's farm. She begins building her own version. Right as she finishes, her roommate arrives. Not long after, Temple is called in by the dorm supervisor, who questions the purpose of the device. Temple explains that the machine helps her feel calm. The pressure gives her a sense of comfort that she cannot get from human contact, since she has always struggled with being touched. Unfortunately, her explanation is misunderstood. The device is seen as inappropriate and is immediately banned from campus. Eventually, the machine is taken away by the dorm staff. Frustrated and hurt, Temple decides to leave and return to her aunt's house. She refuses to go back to college without it. When Anne informs Temple's mother, she does not support Temple either. Still, Anne steps in and takes responsibility for the situation. Anne later comes to the campus and challenges their assumptions with scientific reasoning. The device is tested on other students, and with proper data and research, it is finally approved.
Time.
Yes, I'm quite comfortable.
Okay.
Yes, I feel relaxed.
Very relaxed.
Looking back, Temple's abilities were already clear back in high school. A professor named Carlock understood exactly how her mind worked. As a former NASA scientist, he had years of experience and insight. He believed Temple could only learn through visual and concrete forms, while numbers and words meant very little to her. This becomes evident when Temple successfully completes a complex perspective assignment that no other student could solve.
There's the rock.
Professor Carlock plays a major role in her life. He is one of the few people who truly understands her and can guide her in a way she accepts. His influence goes beyond academics. He teaches her about life, motivation, and how to move forward. Before she graduates high school, he asks her to imagine the university as a series of doors, each leading to new opportunities. This idea also helps reassure her mother, who had been losing hope. Back in college, Temple finally meets a roommate who accepts her and her machine without judgment. Her name is Alice. Even though Alice cannot see, she has a kind and sincere heart. She becomes Temple's first real friend. For the first time, Temple allows another person to touch her. Since Alice cannot see, she relies on Temple's guidance to move around. In return, Alice's kindness slowly helps Temple grow more comfortable with social interaction and the world around her. As the years pass, Temple Grandin continues to grow. Her invention, the calming squeeze machine, plays a big role in helping her graduate from college. During her graduation, she delivers her speech with confidence. Anne and her mother are both there, watching proudly. Every word she says carries sincerity, and for those closest to her, it is deeply emotional.
Today, more than ever, I realize I have not walked alone. On through the wind, walk on through the rain, and you'll never walk alone.
In 1970, Temple moves forward with her research at a cattle ranch. On her first day, she is shocked by what she sees. The system used to handle the cows is chaotic, inefficient, and cruel. She carefully observes how stressed and frightened the animals are. From that moment, she begins documenting every unusual behavior she notices. A few days later, Temple goes to the ranch office and explains her findings. She points out that cows tend to move in circles when they feel safe. When workers constantly approach them, the animals become anxious and panic. Stressed cattle are more likely to get injured, which leads to higher costs for the business. Temple offers to conduct research and develop a new system, one that is more humane. However, to officially begin her research under the ranch's name, she needs approval from Dawn, the head of the ranch. That same day, she tries to enter the ranch, but her permit has already expired. After noticing that cowboys can move freely without being questioned, Temple comes up with a plan to blend in. She trades her car for a truck, buys cowboy clothes, and even dirties them to look more authentic. The effort pays off, and she manages to get past security. After everything she goes through, she finally meets Don. But without even listening, he rejects her idea immediately. Still, Temple refuses to give up. She secretly continues her research, recording everything in detail. She does not just rely on theory. She even crawls like a cow to fully understand how the animals experience the narrow pathways. After days of hard work, one of the workers begins to respect her effort. The man secretly forges Dawn's signature so Temple's thesis can be approved. He also suggests that she visit livestock yards and cattle auctions. The next day, Temple goes to an auction, where she meets a journalist. She offers her new method as a story for the newspaper. The journalist agrees and asks her to send her research. During the New Year's celebration on Christmas night, Temple returns to her mother's house. She joins the gathering with the neighbors, but her straightforward way of speaking makes others uncomfortable. Once again, she feels out of place and begins to question why people never seem to listen to her. Her mother, who understands her deeply, tries to comfort her. She explains that not everyone can understand the knowledge Temple has. She also reminds her that making eye contact is a way to show respect when speaking to others. This advice stays with Temple, especially since she has always struggled to look people in the eye. Back at the ranch, Temple Grandin is quickly found out. The guards have figured out how she slipped in before, and this time she is thrown out again. But Temple never runs out of ideas. She goes straight to the journalist she met earlier and asks for a press pass, hoping it will give her access without being stopped. By this point, her method has already gained attention. The article about her work attracts a lot of interest, which convinces the journalist to help her. With that, things start moving smoothly. More and more publications begin covering her ideas. Soon after, a ranch owner from another state approaches Temple. He is looking for a new system for his own operation and asks her to design everything from the ground up. Temple takes on the challenge, and before long, the entire system is ready. Before the official presentation, she is asked to demonstrate how it works. The cattle are released, and they calmly follow the curved pathways she designed. There are no distractions along the path, no hanging objects, nothing that might scare them. The workers simply observe without touching or forcing the animals. Everything works exactly as she intended. The cows move smoothly, even crossing through water without showing signs of stress. The ranch owner is impressed, and Temple prepares for her presentation with a sense of pride. But the next morning brings a harsh reality. Something has gone wrong. The blame is placed on Temple's design. However, after looking into it, the truth becomes clear. The workers had interfered with the system. They placed objects along the path and altered the setup, disrupting the animal's movement. Furious, Temple does not hold back. She confronts them and then leaves immediately. After driving non-stop for a full day, she arrives at the home of Professor Carlock. She pours out her frustration, explaining how the workers chose to stick to old habits instead of trusting her system. Her design was meant to work naturally, guiding the cattle as if they were following their herd in a curve. Even the water section was carefully designed with steps to prevent slipping. Not long after that visit, Professor Carlock passes away. Temple struggles to express her grief, but she holds on to something he once taught her, that those who are gone continue to live in our minds. Before leaving, Temple shares a quiet moment with her mother. For the first time in her life, she allows her mother to hug her.
Well, it isn't over yet.
I said goodbye when I saw him. He's not there.
Later that day, while trying to buy groceries, Temple finds her usual store closed. The only option left is a shop with automatic glass doors, something that has always been difficult for her. As she hesitates, a kind woman steps in to help. Despite Temple's intense way of speaking, the woman remains patient and understanding. During their interaction, it becomes clear that she recognizes Temple from her writings. Her husband has been reading Temple's work for some time. The woman turns out to be the wife of a well-known ranch owner, someone who had previously rejected Temple's research. From that moment, everything begins to shift. The woman invites Temple to visit their ranch. There, Temple once again explains her design. Her goal is simple: to keep the cattle calm all the way through the process. With less stress, the animals remain safer, and the entire system becomes more efficient. In the end, Temple Grandin's proposal is finally accepted by the ranch. After the meeting, she meets Alice. To Temple, Alice is the only person who truly understands her purpose. She admits that there are still many things in the world she does not fully understand, but at least she wants her life to mean something to others. At this point, she seems calmer, more grounded, and more aware of who she is. The next day, Temple takes her mother to a gathering for children with autism. While listening to the event, her attention is drawn to a child repeatedly spinning in place. It reminds her of her own childhood, when she used to do the same thing. In that moment, Temple steps forward and begins explaining what children with autism actually experience. At first, people are unsure, but that quickly changes when they realize who she is and what she has achieved. She makes it clear that she was never cured. Instead, she embraces her autism. She explains that having a different way of thinking allows autistic individuals to see the world in ways others cannot. Being different does not mean being less capable. Her words leave a powerful impact. Her mother watches with tears in her eyes, filled with pride. The organizers then invite Temple to speak in front of everyone, as more people want to hear her story. As she walks toward the stage, Temple once again imagines those doors she was told about, each one leading to a new world waiting to be explored. The film closes by showing the real-life journey of Temple Grandin, who goes on to become a professor at a university in Colorado. Today, many ranches across North America use her system as a standard method. And with that, the story comes to an end. So the moral of the story is, sometimes the hardest pain is not being different, but feeling unseen until someone finally understands you.